Hey FlossTube, this is Brian. Welcome back. This is my 56th FlossTube video, and I'm planning on sharing with you what I have stitched this week. But first of all, I want to welcome you. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I hope that you enjoy the things that I have to share with you. If you are coming back, welcome also, and I'm glad that you've decided to come back and watch my videos. It's been a great week. I've had a great week stitching, and I'm excited to share with you what I've been able to accomplish. Work-wise, things are going pretty good. Not quite as busy as they were, and that's a good thing. It has been a beautiful summer here in Arizona. We have had some really nice days. It hasn't gotten really hot yet. That's kind of significant. This last week was the anniversary of the highest temperature ever recorded in Phoenix, which was back in 1990, I believe. That day, they recorded 122 degrees at the airport at Sky Harbor, and that day kind of has a bit of a lore around here. They actually had to close down the airport on that day because they didn't have any data on how planes would react in those kind of temperatures. So they had to close the airport because it was so hot. We've never experienced 122 degrees. A couple of years ago, about this time of year, we had a day that was 119, and that was just one of the most miserable days I've ever experienced. So the fact that we're still in the low hundreds is really quite nice, and I'm really celebrating that. It hasn't been really hot. We're starting to look for the monsoon. The monsoon should start up in a week or so. It hasn't been really hot, so I don't know how much of a monsoon we're going to have this year. But if you know anything about Arizona, what happens in the monsoon is the wind shifts from the west to the east, and it starts to pull up moisture from Mexico. That makes it a little bit, I wouldn't say humid, it makes it muggy and a little bit more miserable. It kind of keeps the temperatures down a little bit. It causes thunderstorms. We get some pretty big thunderstorms. So yeah, that should start up around the 4th of July. I don't know if it, like I say, it hasn't been really hot, so I guess we'll see what happens this year. But so far, we're just really enjoying a wonderful summer here. Yeah. So the first thing I thought I'd do is I thought I'd share with you some things that I would like to stitch. And I finished filming last week and realized I completely forgot to do this. So I'm going to kind of make up for it this year. I'm going to kind of make up for it this week. So I like to have a Christmas piece going at all times, and I find that I'm looking for something Christmassy to stitch. And so I don't think I'm going to start a Christmas piece right away. It probably won't happen till the fall. But I've been going through some of my old patterns and pulled out some Christmas designs that I would like to stitch eventually and share them with you. This is from several different designs back in several different magazines in the 90s, and these are all Christmas things that I would really like to stitch sometime. This first one was in For the Love of Cross Stitch in the January 1993 issue, and it's called Every Star. It's a picture of a deer by a tree, and then there's like a little village in the background, and you can see it has words. It says he knows every star and calls each one by name. This is a design by D. Morgan, and I really like it. I really like that wintry kind of landscape. That really speaks to me. It reminds me of my childhood a little bit, I think. Another one, this was in the January 1995 issue of For the Love of Cross Stitch. This is called Santa's Magical Flight, Santa's Enchanted Flight. This is a picture of Santa riding a reindeer. spreading toys down on a village below. It's stitched on dark blue linen. This is a design by Donna Vermilion Giampa. So yeah, I would like to stitch this sometime also. This is a design that was in the November 1993 issue of Cross Stitch and Country Crafts. It's O Gloria in Excelsis Dale. This is a design by Patricia Anderle. She's the one who did those cutaway houses that I showed a couple of weeks ago. She also kind of did these manuscript type of designs. Her company was called Counted Illuminations, and I had a viewer tell me that there were even more of those houses published under her company that I wasn't aware of. So this is another one that she did. What I find really this one is all stitched with blends with black blending filament. So I imagine this would be really sparkly. And I think that would look pretty cool as well. This is another design by Patricia Anderle. It was in the January-February 1996 issue of Cross Stitch and Country Crafts. It is called Christmas Bells. I'll give you a little bit closer look. It's a picture of churches with bells, and the words of "I heard the bells on Christmas Day" are surrounding this picture. That is one of my favorite Christmas carols, so I would really like to stitch that just because of the Christmas carol. Another one that I found, this was in the December 1997 issue of Cross Stitch and Needlework. This is a design by Emmy Bishop, who I think her company was named Cross and Patch, and she did a lot of Hardinger designs like this. I really like this style, and I would like to stitch this sometime. So this is the only design of hers that I have, and sometimes I wish I had more of them. So, but there's that. This was in the December 1997 issue of Cross Stitch and Needlework. There's no place like home for the holidays. This one's kind of interesting. There's lots of beads for the light, for the colored lights on the trees behind the house and in the trim of the house. And what's kind of interesting about this is the mat is stitched also. So you stitch that design around the mat, and then you wrap it around foam core, I guess, or mat board, I guess you could do, and use that for the mat. So this one, I really like the look of this one, but sometimes I think this would be a little bit ambitious just because of stitching the frame, I guess. Okay, this was in For the Love of Cross Stitch, January 2001, and it's called Wood Carver Santas. And I really like all those Santas. I kind of like that one. That's kind of a little bit cutesy, I guess, but I like that as well. This was in the Cross Stitch Christmas 1992. So Better Homes and Gardens did a Cross Stitch Christmas magazine that was every year, once a year, and this was in the 1992 issue. This is called Magic Moments, and Brenda, Handwork Maniac, has kind of mentioned this a couple of times. It's a picture of a boy and a girl who are looking out a window, and you can kind of see what looks like I guess the air being displaced by Santa taking off. So yeah, I really like this one too. This is one that I would really love to stitch sometime. So, and then one more. This was in the 1999 issue of Cross Stitch Christmas. This is a design by Mike Vickery, so a male designer, and it's 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. I really like it. It's like a church and a village. I really like this style as well. So this is something I would love to stitch sometime too. So yeah, so like I say, I'm kind of trying to decide what Christmas design I'm going to stitch next. I don't have any plans to start one this month. I usually get the itch to start something Christmassy in the fall, like September or October. So I'm kind of trying to decide what I'm going to stitch then. So I'm curious, what would you, if you had to choose a Christmas design that you were going to stitch right now, what design would you choose? There's a lot of stuff out there, and I'm curious to see what kind of Christmas design you would like to stitch. So anyway, the reason why I am looking for a Christmas design to stitch is I finished the one I was working on. And if you've been watching me recently, if you've kept up with me on Instagram, you know this already. Last week I recorded my video and I said I've been working on Quaker Christmas II. And last week I recorded my video and I said something along the lines of, I think that I have a couple of days left to stitch. I was on Saturday morning, and Saturday night I finished this. The last little bit took a lot less time than I expected it to. So I'm going to show you my finished product, and here it is. We'll scoot back all this way. So yeah, it's finished. I'm really happy with how this turned out, and I am glad to finally have a finish this year. So I'll give you a little bit of close up so that you can see. This is of course a design by Bygone Stitches, and I am stitching it on 28 count Ivory Lugana, and I'm stitching it. I stitched it with the called for threads, which is the red is Gentle Arts Currant, and the green is Blue Spruce. And of course, there's all sorts of motifs that suggest Christmas songs all the way through here, and then there's like titles of songs as well. Here you've got a partridge in a pear tree. There's the little drummer boy. Reindeer. I don't know if that's Rudolph or not, but I like to think so. Let's see, what else? Away in a manger, maybe. I saw 3 ships. Let's see, what else? Maybe this is I heard the bells on Christmas Day. This could be angels we have heard on high. Yeah, so there's all sorts of motifs and Christmas. I've really enjoyed working on this. I put in, so you see, let me see, like right here, you see these, there's these little stitches down here. I think they were charted to be eyelets. I've stitched them as Smyrna crosses, although somewhere in here, there's a place where I stitched eyelets. I think it was down here. And then I did a couple of other things just to add a little bit of variety. This is actually a road stitch here. And then up in here somewhere, I did rice stitch. So if I had thought about that sooner, I think I would have come up with more specialty stitches that cover those 4 stitches to do them. But So there's a little bit of, if you were looking for stuff, looking for the carols, you can also look for those types of variations. Yeah, like I say, no, I'm really happy with this. So I finished up at the top, and then I remembered I had to put the date in down here. So there it is, 2019. I had to make my own 9 because there were no numbers charted. It was only charted for 2012, so I had to make my own 9. And that could probably be better, but I think it suggests the 9 enough. So, oh, and then my initials are right here. I put those in when I stitched this. So, yeah. No, this has been a really fun piece to stitch, and I'm really happy with it. So we'll pull back just so you can see the whole thing. And as I have mentioned before, this is my entry into Ginger Gerald's Large Project Finish competition. I have sent my entry in. I made it a week before the deadline. So yes, I'm really happy with that, and I'm happy with my progress. So as I mentioned last week, I said that since I finished that so soon, I decided to just go straight into my English garden sampler. Of course, this is a design by Teresa Wentzler, and I decided I was just going to work on this for the 6 remaining days. So I will insert a picture of what this looked like the last time you saw it. And I am stitching this on 25 count Antique White Lugana. I'm stitching with Sullivans Floss instead of DMC. And it's been quite a week working on this. Last week I said that I would like to finish the alphabet and the tree over on the left-hand side. Well, I wasn't able to do that. This is what it looks like now, so I'll pull back. So I decided I just needed to suck it up and work on the alphabet. I started working on this frame over here, and then I decided I just need to suck it up and finish the alphabet. And it took me a lot longer to stitch these letters than I expected it to. They're stitched over one, and they are stitched in 5 different colors of 5 different shades of green. So you get this nice gradient, and it's really nice. I mean, it's really quite phenomenal that you could do this, but you can't really tell where one color starts and the other ends. So it really makes a really nice gradient. But these letters are just really, really tedious to stitch, mainly because, like for something like this M, there's too much gap between the legs of the M that made for me to feel like I could carry threads. So it was like pull out a color and stitch 5 or 6 stitches and then end off and then stitch 5 or 6 stitches in another place. It's very tedious and very complicated. Well, not complicated, but very tedious work. And stitching over one didn't help. My biggest problem with stitching over one is I have a hard time securing the threads after I do that. So that's my real challenge. But I was able to finish, so I stitched this entire row and I got to V. So I have 4 more letters to stitch. And after working on all these letters, I kind of need a break from this. I'll be ready to stitch those 4 letters when this comes out again. So next time I work on this, I'll stitch these 4 letters and stitch the tree. And then I'll start working on the hedge that comes down through here. So, but yeah, I'm still enjoying how this is turning out. I keep thinking that I'll get to a section that won't take as long and things will start to speed up. But this This piece seems to be fighting me all the way. But it's worth it. I mean, I'm not complaining. It's worth the results, so it'll probably be that way the whole time. So that's what I worked on this week. And I looked up in my rotation to see what is coming up, and this is actually coming up a little bit sooner than I thought it would. But I'm excited to work on this. So I am going to be working on, for this week, I'm going to be working on 4 seasons. And I showed this last week, and I'm actually pretty excited to work on this. Hopefully I can dispel the bad vibes I had from cutting my fabric. Of course, as I said last week, I had Melissa, who owns a needlework repair business, offered to fix this for me, so it is fixed, and I'm ready to stitch again. So hopefully, I am hoping that I can stitch. I would love to be able to stitch all of spring and get spring finished this week. The last time I worked on this, it was a very busy week. We had 2 graduations and not a lot of time for stitching. So this week I should have more stitching time. So hopefully I can make a lot more progress and feel good about getting more of this stitched. Of course, this is a design by Modern Folk Embroidery. It was the stitch along for 2018 that he did. And I am excited to work on it again. I would love to get quite a bit more finished. So that's what I'm going to work on. We'll see where I get to. Yeah, we'll see where I get to when I this week. So that's all that I have to share with you today. If you're in the United States, of course, the 4th of July is this week. I only have a 3-day work week because the 4th is on Thursday, so I have Friday off as well. That's kind of exciting. I'm kind of ready for a little bit of a break from work. Just to be able to forget about it for a couple of days would be really nice. At any rate, I hope that you have, if you are in the United States and celebrate the 4th of July, I hope that you have a great 4th of July. And as always, if you want to follow my daily progress and see how things go with my 4 seasons, you can do that by following me on Instagram. My name is @blitstitch on Instagram, and you can follow me there if you haven't. Thanks for spending time with me watching this video. If you haven't, feel free to subscribe to my channel. You can also like this video if you want, and I would love to have any comments or any questions that you would ask. I'd be glad to answer any questions that you have for me. At any rate, I hope that you have a great week and a great holiday if you're in the United States. And yeah, we will talk to you later. Goodbye.